Society.tv.
Good morning and welcome to Coolangatta, the Australian Beach Ultimate Championships. It is a beautiful morning out here this morning. Stark contrast to what we had yesterday with the rain. My name is Oakley Ryan and I'm joined by Max Stanstrom, and we'll be bringing you this game live this morning between Giddy and Giddy Up.
Thanks, Oakley. Yeah, it's one hell of a game that we've got before us. Giddy Up, surprising a lot of teams coming into the tournament. They were seeded 7th and they've gone undefeated. They've knocked out, or they've beaten, I should say, the top 2 seeds in their pool already in Smashing and Turtle Club yesterday. So perhaps a bit of a dark horse coming into the tournament. Maybe some people were a little surprised at how low they were seeded. I know I was. It's a roster that is talented from top to bottom. And that talent has been on full display. At the other end of the field, Beer Kitty, who will be starting this game on defense, do have some experience playing together under different names. Last year they were at Beach Nats under the name of Don't Panic. They've come back, added a few faces, changed up the team name and the jersey, and they're ready to do battle.
Ball goes up, received by Alex Shep in the back of the end zone. Centers the disc. He's looking for options, finds Fernando. Goes crossfield to Carmen, I think that is. Finds Shepherd again. He's looking. Big floaty one goes up. Shepherd manages to pull it down to Fernando, knocking on the end zone door. Trying to find something. Bit of a poachy look, but Shepherd manages to close it out.
That was that clinical offense we've come to expect from Giddy Up. The whole time down the field, they had just one player isolated out in front of the disc, giving them plenty of space to work. And then in the end, a nice flip to Shepherd out in front of him, making it easy work to get the goal in the end.
Yeah, very nice clinical offense there from Giddy Up. Made it really hard for Beer Kitty to even get near the disc, to even grab a D.
Giddy Up will start this point on defense after they've jumped out to the 1-0 lead. The lineup for this point, only players who will be competing later this year in the Australian Ultimate Professional League. Alex Shepherd, of course, the #1 draft pick, very well-known player. Beck Carmen, Michael Thomas, Abby Dawson and Hannah Monty, all playing for different teams. Sydney, Perth and Canberra predominantly, as that ball will roll out the side of the end zone.
Brew Kitty with the disc right now. He's looking, he's not really finding many options in the center of the field there. Disc is currently with, it's a turnover. Thomas picks up the disc. Carmen scores the easy goal. Giddy Up really punishing there for every mistake the Beer Kitty's making.
So I had a chat to the Giddy Up team before this game about Giddy Up, what that means, and their jerseys, the lobster emblazoned singlets that they've got on this weekend.
I heard it had a Seinfeld reference.
Yeah, so I'm not a big Seinfeld watcher. I've never seen a lot of it, but apparently Kramer, correct me if I'm wrong, one of his catchphrases is Giddy Up, and he's notorious for wearing a lobster shirt.
Yes.
So
I didn't put it together until someone told me.
Yeah, look, I'm not a big Seinfeld guy, but I know for those that are into Seinfeld, it's a big part of their lives.
I enjoy it. I think it adds some spice.
Having said that, I think Beer Kitty, at least personally for me, are one of my favourite jerseys here.
Bringing back Hello Kitty, she fell out of fashion for a while there.
Yeah, but, making a resurgence. It's a case of maybe just add alcohol and everything can come back again.
Decent pull from Mikhail De Silva, picked up by Briggs. Just on the sideline here, getting stuck for options. Dumps back to Wolski, she fumbles it though, and Giddy Up get another turnover right on the end zone line.
Wolski, usually a very safe pair of hands for this team. but unable to hold on to that one. She was the MVP at Beach Nats last year So obviously a real talent on this surface and just in general. We'll see whether she can inject some of that talent into her team's offense.
Giddy Up couldn't close that point out, so Briggs picks up the disc again for Beer Kitty on the far sideline. Finds Wolski through the middle. Gets it through for the unders. Wolski for a nice leading pass. To this sideline. Puts it out in front. Oh, Wolski nearly went for the bid, but deep by De Silva.
And there Wolski was, as we were talking about, being a crucial part in the offensive flow. Obviously a nice poach block by De Silva denied her the stack, as Giddy Up will play some offense.
Sutton with the disc, puts that nice arcing lefty backhand up to Mortimer. Wolski goes, thank you very much. I'll take that one. Briggs giving her a nice dump, but fumbles it, giving Giddy Up the disc within third of their end zone. Sutton picking it up for Giddy Up. Steps out like he wants that backhand, but dumps to De Silva. Wolski comes through with the run through D, proving to be a crucial player on the Beer Kitty line. Briggs picks up. Oh, overthrows it again. De Silva to Sutton. To Lamb. Easy score for Giddy Up.
So that point was a little bit less clinical than the first couple were. Giddy Up ruthless in the first 2 points, but the Beer Kitty defense able to generate some turns that point, which they'll be happy about, despite not actually managing to convert. For them at least, it's a reassuring sign to feel like they can get the disc back when they make a mistake. Obviously, they'll want to be a bit more efficient in converting those possessions into notches on the scoreboard, as Giddy Up have jumped out to a 3-0 lead pretty quickly.
Certainly, Max. They Beer Kitty certainly need to be converting from those turns that they get to get the scores on the board. Otherwise, Giddy Up will just take them for a ride here and stretch out that lead further. Very nice floaty pull there from Fernando. Lands in the end zone nicely. Picked up. Nice gainer through the centre there. She puts it up. Fumbles it. Oh, she was so close.
Bounced off both pairs of hands, I think.
She was so close to getting that. Fernando to PV. He punts it, but puts too much pepper on it, and it just sails out into that back end zone.
Probably worth mentioning that today is Alex Petroni-Vran's birthday, so happy birthday to him. Big shout out. He's a lovely guy, a great player, and from all accounts, absolutely led his team at the party last night, so our best wishes.
Hope he's not too dusty this morning. Beer Kitty at disc is now with Crocker to hold away. Puts it up. Has Durfee coming underneath it, but D'd by Fernando. And he picks it up straight away to try and get the disc back in play. Points deep. Has PV just running underneath it, but it's gone. It's going and it's gone far out that far sideline.
Holdaway and Fernando both hailing from Christchurch, both teams here with some imported talent, and they've actually played together on the Christchurch Opens team, which Fernando is also one of the coaches for, I believe, where they were recently the New Zealand Opens champions. Holdaway playing in that Opens division and coming away with some gold. So congratulations to both of them. It's interesting to see them on opposite sides of the end zone, opposite sides of the field in this one.
Crocker to Durfee. He wants to hit the end zone, looks for the around, can't quite find it, finds Gwinnett. Oh, pushes it a bit too far there, and Blanchard's just can't seal the deal for them. Being brought in by PV now. Looks off Carmen to find Kelly. Fernando on the far sideline. Puts up a nice floating pass. Has Dawson running it down. But it was just too much and she couldn't keep it in through the back of the end zone.
Dawson known for a pace, but on sand, everyone's just significantly slower than they usually are. And that probably is an absolutely perfect throw on grass. Dawson would have caught that no problem on her chest. But on this surface, not able to make up those meters.
Coming into day 2 as well, everyone's legs are a bit sore. So you have to account for the more reduced lack of speed from that. Beer Kitty, fine Blychards in the centre of the field. She puts up a nice one, finds Durfee. He looks to move it quickly. Crocker on the far sideline. Puts the big one. Fernando just eats it up time and time again. Disc is now with PV on the close sideline. To Callie to PV. He has Fernando streaming deep. Doesn't put it in though. Finds Dawson standing in space. No mark. And she says, thank you very much. Puts up a big one. Catch by the wind though. Callie couldn't quite seal the deal.
He shakes his head. He was there. He knows that probably should have been a goal. He just misread it slightly and maybe the wind caused it to bobble. And he completely whiffs on the catch.
Beer Kitty brings it in. Disc is now with Crocker. He doesn't have many cuts coming into space. There seems to be a poach. Overthrows, but Holdaway cleans it up for him. She pops it up. Durfee's there. Fernando's put the mark on and he needs people to put a bit of hustle on, get into the end zone, give him an option. To Gwinnett. Seems to be a bit of clogging in that end zone. Crocker on the far sideline looks for the break. There are no options coming for Beer Kitty right now, and that stall count's going to be getting high. Gwinnett. Disc is with Gwinnett. Was there a call? There wasn't a call. There is just no cuts coming. Crocker tries to give him a dump. Overthrows it. Beer Kitty here really need to sort out what's happening with their cuts. They're either getting everyone cutting to the same space or no one cutting at all, and that's going to be really detrimental for them if that continues longer into the game.
It also just means that you've got more people running at once, so you're fatiguing yourself faster as well.
Fernando to Carmen, to Dawson, to Fernando, pops it up. Kelly in yards of space. Giddy up, seals it off.
And that's a much better throw from Fernando than his first huck, which went well out the side. He was able to shoot from midfield position and hits Kelly with a beautiful forehand. And Kelly gets his redemption as well from an earlier attempt in the end zone.
The wind isn't coming in too strong, but it picks up briefly. So when people are caught on that far sideline and try and put those outside in flicks up, I don't think they account for the amount of wind that's coming, and it just catches it and takes it away.
It is definitely a bit blustery, coming and going a touch, which can make it difficult for them. Should note, for those watching, it's coming right to left on the as we're looking at it on the camera, and a little bit away from us. It's an offshore breeze heading offshore. So just be mindful of that, as I'm sure all the players are as well. Having said that, the calibre of throwers here is pretty excellent, and so far they've been able to adjust and adapt reasonably well.
Big pull comes up. Nice arcing pull. And lands in and just rolls out. Gives Giddy up plenty of time to set up their defense. Big huck, big huck. Bit of a misread, and Shepherd manages to just get a hand on it.
It was a nice cut deep by Musial. He'd got a couple of steps on Shepherd, which isn't easy to do, but in the end, not able to track that frisbee down.
Thomas to Monty, back to Thomas. He's got De Silva going deep, but looks him off and centres with Shepherd. Puts a nice break backhand up to De Silva. Longley going, Monty going. Takes Shepherd's dump. Needs an undercut. Puts the break backhand to Thomas again. They've got some nice movement happening. Break flick to Monty. That was beautiful. Good vision. Good throw.
We're talking about the caliber of throwers, and we just saw a sequence of beautiful break passes to open up that near side for the goal for Giddy Up. First, that backhand from Shepherd, the no pivot around. Very difficult to stop, and then Michael Thomas with the inside forehand onto a platter for Hannah Monty to scoop up for the goal. And that's jumping that lead out. The Beer Kitty team hasn't been able to get one on the board yet, still finding their way, finding their feet in terms of their offense against this stifling defense of Giddy Up. It's been predominantly match D, one-way force, nothing too special, but the athleticism of this Giddy Up team proving the difference so far. A lot of them in top shape from a long national season, many of them playing with successful Division 1 nationals teams, and some are continuing to keep in top shape with worlds and semi-professional campaigns and tournaments ahead in the not too distant future.
There's a beautiful pull from Monty. Disc is now with Holdaway. Finds a nice under. Oh, there's a little bit of a fumble by Briggs on the sideline there. She just couldn't. Lamb just got a finger to it and managed to hit it to the sand, giving Giddy Up an opportunity to stretch this lead out even further. Sutton's picking up the disc. Floats a flick out over everyone's heads. Was there a call though? I think it might have been a pick, and it's now a turn because it did not affect.
The Beer Kitty team here going for a bit of a split stack situation as they find their player underneath.
Find Ralph there on the sideline to Durfee. Overthrows Holdaway, but she manages to bring it in. Pops up the hammer. Oh.
Great bit attempt. That would have been one spectacular catch if he'd held on to that one.
Disc was fading away from him. Got a hand on it, it looked like. Just couldn't quite hold on to it. Callie gets it. Big contention on that under though. Lamb on the far sideline. She wants a dump, looking to get rid of it pretty quickly. Finds Sutton. Pops up the flick again. Monty seals it off in the end zone. Acres of space. Giddy Up really dominating this game right now.
And that was an absolute textbook example of beach offense, the almost thrower-initiated huck. Monty standing very deep, had a couple of meters onto the break side from her defender. Her defender was giving a big buffer. And on this surface where it's so tricky to change direction rapidly and accelerate, you're often able just to really just throw onto the chest of your player, ping it at them, zip it in with a bit of pace, and the defender won't have an opportunity to get involved, as we saw there. Monty only having to take a couple of steps further onto the break side, and Sutton delivers the nice outside in forehand onto that fat side of the field for the goal.
There's nothing much that the defender could do there. Disc was over their head. Monty had all the space in the world to run onto it. Really clinical offense there from Giddy Up, showing their experience, showing their dominance, and why they're definitely going to be a big contender in the finals towards the end of the day.
Yesterday it was mixed results for Beer Kitty. They went 3-2, which they were pretty happy about. They were seated in the middle, and they said that was where they felt they were. They were very happy with their upset win over the Adelaide team Brew. So they feel like they're on the up and up, but obviously against Giddy Up, things are proving to be difficult as they've jumped out to a 6-0 lead.
Crocker with a disc. Puts a throw up. Contention if it was up or down.
It's Bill Charts that attempted the catch there. She's a Polish import for this Beer Kitty team. She's over in Australia just for a few months for work, I believe. And while she's here, the Beer Kitty team is taking full advantage of her skill and athleticism and talents on the frisbee field. But it may not have proven enough to make this catch, as it lays it into the turf, but it will go back to Crocker. He'll have another go. He'll be happy about his opportunity for redemption. As Giddy Up opting for a zoney look this point.
I think it was a contested down call there, so disc has gone back to Crocker. He brings it in, brings it back to Hennis, to Gwinnett on the close sideline. Crocker through the inside, finds lots of space to Hennis in the centre of the field. She needs an under. Back to Crocker. Finds Bilchars on the far sideline, struggling to get through and find space, and the disc is picked off by Thomas as he floats out a nice disc. Too far.
Petroni Vran, it's his birthday, but he wasn't able to collect that gift, unfortunately. Just a touch too far for him to hold on to, despite his lovely bidding efforts.
Crocker back to Hennis. This zone proving difficult for Bicky to get through, but they managed to find Ralph to Gwinnett on the far sideline to Crocker. They give going nicely. They just need to move the disc quicker. Ralph finds space through the centre of the field to Crocker on the give go again. He needs an option. That stall count's going up. Gwinnett gives him something. Puts it around. Bit too far in front for Bilchars though. That was nice movement through the centre of the field there.
Giddy Up playing an interesting zone look with the big Petroni Vran on the mark, using his wingspan to cause troubles, and then with Calm and Longley and Dawson in the midfield creating chaos. But as you say, Beer Kitty was able to hit the open shots when they opened up. And often, as we've spoken about before, zones on beach are often high risk, high reward. And we'll see whether Beer Kitty can get that reward.
Giddy Up just turned the disc over again. And Beer Kitty just couldn't capitalise from that turn and have just given it straight back. Giddy Up going to be picking up with Thomas. Harmon gives an early long look, and it's rewarded.
It's going to float. Carmen underneath it. Petroni Vran from behind, cleaning up the scraps, but can't hold on to that one either, and he's staying down.
He's hit the sand quite hard and has taken an injury.
He'll come off. Doesn't seem to be holding on to any particular part of his body. Perhaps his adventures yesterday evening have just caught up with him a touch.
I can imagine he did some quite hard celebrating last night.
Fernando will replace him. He'll have the unenviable job of playing mark on the beach. Lots of running, lots of changing of direction.
Picked up by Gwinnett to Hennis. Finds Ralph on the far sideline. She'll want to move this quickly so that zone doesn't set to Bilchars. Very clogged through the centre of the field there to Missile. He has a nice option into the end zone, but just overthrows his receiver slightly. And Beer Kitty still unable to get a notch on the board.
That's the second time this game we've seen Beer Kitty throw the huck over the back of the head of their receiver, who's then had trouble tracking it as it flies. And I really think that just goes back to the fundamentals of Ultimate, that accepted wisdom that you really want to be crossing thirds, either with the throw or the deep cut, as it'll allow a much easier read and also make the throw a lot easier.
Disc is with Hennis. She's trying to find an option. Gets Gwinnett to Missile on this close sideline again. Fakes the flick huck. He doesn't have many options and threads it through two receivers but couldn't quite pinpoint one of them. Thomas with the disc now. Dawson provides a nice under. Fernando in acres of space. She pops it up. Oh, beautiful over the shoulder read.
Fernando reels that one in. The shot from Dawson, showing her versatility. Usually known as a player that's more likely to be on the end of those than delivering them, but has really developed quite an expansive deep throwing game in recent times and using it to great effect. Fernando, the beneficiary of that forehand And Giddy up. Race to a 7-0 lead. That's technically half time, but of course they're not obliged to take a break this weekend at Beach Nats. 45-minute games, meaning that they get their majority of their rest between games.
Just mirrored half. So when halftime occurs, so teams swap ends. So they started on the left of screen at the start of the game. They'll be coming out of half on the right of screen. And if you started on offense, you'll now be coming out on defense, and vice versa. Alex Shepherd with a big rolly pull, pushing it out that far sideline, going to make it hard for Beer Kitty by trying to keep it there. They managed to get it top side and find Briggs in the middle of the field with a nice undercut. She looks to get rid of it pretty quickly though and dumps it to Durfee. There is a fumble there though by Molnar and gives it back to Giddy up. Shepherd fakes the flick, wants a dump, finds Monty. She looks to put it down the line, floats the backhand out to Sutton, nearly gets D'd. Dishy to Shepherd. Giddy up making that look nice and easy.
Yeah, Sutton almost got left looking very silly with his feet planted as the bid came across. Really got to attack the disc, but he got lucky that time and ends up scoring, throwing the assist for Shepherd to receive the goal.
Beer Kitty just really needing to take their time a bit more, find good options. They are, some of their undercuts seem to be hotly contested, which just makes it really difficult for the receiver when they know that there's someone right on their heels, and which just is very likely to lead to a turnover.
Shepherd will stay out there. He's playing a lot of points for Giddy up. Obviously one of their premier players, the #1 AUL draft pick as well. Can do it all on the field, play O, play D, downfield, handling.
There is, the hand has gone up from Beer Kitty, awaiting the pull now. Alex Shepherd with a big backhand and lands it just in the back of the end zone and rolls out.
We've already noticed this morning we have had only a couple of bricks in comparison to yesterday where it was Brick City most of the day. I imagine just that day of practice has allowed a lot of these pullers to calibrate their throws for the shorter fields. And that tight pressure that we've talked about on the unders may go back as a foul call is made, but Dawson was on the hip of Holdaway the whole way in that undercut. Both experienced players, both have pulled on national jerseys for different countries. Holdaway playing with New Zealand at the Asia Oceanic Ultimate and Guts Championships. Dawson most recently in Perth in the World Under-24 Championships with the Blue Bottles.
Holdaway found Hannes. Oh, that was a great grab there from Masal. Sitting right in their end zone line. Gets a nice dump back. They're looking nice, calm and collected. Needs an option. Needs an undercut. He's got someone calling in the back of the end zone. He puts the disc up, but it's just overthrown.
Bit of a desperation shot in the end. Some great defense in and around the handler area, and that dump space meant that he didn't have a lot of options and had to take a tricky one into the end zone.
A bit unfortunate, he didn't have a mark there for quite some time, so he could have had a nice easy option had the downfield worked a bit harder and given that to him, but then once the defense set in, it really just seemed to clam up that space. Mortimer on this sideline overthrows Kelly though.
Shepherd underneath it. Oh, and he got a full hand on that one. Can't hold on.
Beer Kitty pick it up very quickly, wanting to move that disc off.
Oh, but gets the hand block. Got a full hand on that one too.
Shepherd redeeming himself there. Centering to Kelly. Fernando with a nice under. Kelly goes down the line. but Fernando pops it out. I don't think that disc was intended for Mortimer, and she fumbled it, turned it over, and Hannes picks it up.
Hannes, another one of the New Zealand imports. As Fernando goes sideways and plucks that one out of the sky.
Dishes to Shepherd. Shepherd puts up a nice hammer, but
and that's a goal.
It's caught. It's caught by Kelly.
Ryan Kelly, the recipient of a nice crossfield hammer from Shepherd. Fernando was behind him to back him up, but he didn't need the help.
Great athletic play there from Fernando. Just comes out of nowhere, plucks it right out of the air. Thank you very much.
A very athletic defender. We've seen he's got absolutely no hesitations to get off his feet. Doesn't mind getting a bit of sand on him.
Giddy up stretching out their lead now. (9-0) to Giddy up. Definitely asserting their dominance on this game. Big Giddy having some really great plays. They get to the end zone and then they just seem to force it in a little bit too much. Get a little bit of end zone eyes, get a bit of clogged space, and then they just can't seem to seal the deal.
No one likes to have this kind of a beating laid down on them in any game, much less on stream. I was chatting to Beer Kitty before this match and I said, were they excited to get a game filmed this weekend? And they said, yes and no. Of course they love to get the video, the film, you know, for the family back at home, but the prospect of having to play what is looking like one of the real favourites for the tournament on camera for the world to see is scary.
Gets the disc. Oh! Wolski caught the disc over Kelly, then gets a nice score to Ralph. Sorry, that's Thomas. Nothing Thomas could do about it.
Wolski, the captain of this team, leading by example there. Nice take, and then waited till the opportunity presented itself to throw the goal. And Beer Kitty are on the board. It's not going to be a donut. They're going to be happy about that. It's 9-1. Just 8 more to go.
Beer Kitty wanting to try and emulate that play again, probably. They had nice options. They had lots of space. Definitely something they should be looking to continue. Definitely coming into the trail end of this game now. Only 10 or so minutes to go. Beer Kitty have definitely got their work cut out for them if they're going to want to come back and take this one.
Conversely, I imagine Giddy up, hoping to close this one out quickly, get as much rest in their legs as they can before they finish off their pool rounds and most likely head into semis the way they're playing right now, as Dawson on the far side with the disc.
She looks to dump it to De Silva, but he seemed to be quite covered, so she pings it up. Sutton just didn't quite have the legs or the vision to get there.
That throw having a bit too much edge on it meant that it was knifing in very quickly. No margin for error. It wasn't going to float for anyone to run onto at any point. And Sutton, perhaps slightly on a different page as to when and where that throw was going, not able to receive it.
Crocketer Holdaway in the center of the field. She looks for a dump. Overthrows Briggs. She gets on the sand but just couldn't keep it up. Picks up by Dawson. She has no mark. Surveying her options. Finds De Silva on the close sideline. Dumps it back to Dawson. Dishy is overthrown to Lamb and they just turn it over right in the end zone. Crocker picks it up very quickly. Overthrows Messiah and just gives it straight back. De Silva to Mortimer. To Sutton. He threads the needle.
Oh, bidding bodies everywhere. The bodies hit the floor and De Silva is standing there and watching with the disc in his hands.
great bids there from both the Beer Kitty players. They had the right intention. That was just, throw was just threaded absolutely perfectly from Sutton there.
You can't ask any more from Holdaway and Missile than what they did, but De Silva receives the goal. We saw Sutton and Mortimer connect to that point. They're well used to each other's play. Sutton is the coach of the GWS Blaze team, and Mortimer one of their key players. They're coming off the back of a successful Nationals campaign, coming home with the bronze this year in only their second year as a club. Fernando with the pull.
Pull from Fernando. Fielded nicely to get it moving from Beer Kitty. Hennis with the disc. Finds Wolski on a nice gainer. She dumps it back. Surveying their options. Two people there, that's what you like to see. Durfee with the disc. He's wanting something. There's not any cuts happening. Gwinnett on this close sideline. Durfee again, they've got two cuts to the same space occurring. Needs probably a bit more communication. Nice break backhand to Hennis. Just overthrows Gwinnett and Kelly with the D.
Kelly, the Perth import on this Giddy Up team, of course, usually playing with Sublime. Enjoying an opportunity to come over here, play some frisbee, and go to the party and not have to wear hot pants. But Fernando, he's looking hot. That's a lovely cut deep. The throw is delivered perfectly onto his chest. And Giddy Up, double digits, 10-1. Fernando, as mentioned earlier, from Christchurch. 11-1, apologies. Fernando from Christchurch, where he captains and coaches the Dogma team from the Credo Club, recently national champions in New Zealand. May well be hoping to come home from this weekend with another national championship of a different variety to his name.
I was speaking with Max Halden of House Party yesterday. He said that they're hoping to be able to play Giddy Up in the final.
It's definitely looking likely. There are, of course, a couple of other teams that are looking towards that end of the tournament. Smashing and Turtle Club both in this pool, eyeing off that prize as Crocker wastes no time in looking to hold away.
Yes, that was a beautiful throw, beautiful look. Holdaway had tons of space to run onto that. It was in her vision the whole time. Dawson and Longley there just didn't have the right line to run onto when they just couldn't keep the disc in their vision to get the D.
Yeah, Holdaway giving up a couple of inches to Dawson at least, but the better read proved decisive there. She had a much better sense of where she needed to be, and Dawson didn't really have the opportunity to make a play in the end. She just wasn't in the right spot.
Giddy Up now coming out on offense. Haven't seen this happen, much throughout this game. So they'll definitely want to close this one out quickly, which will put them up to a 12-2 lead, and then coming out on defense to try and take out the game. They'd probably want to be looking to do this nice and quickly. Keep their legs nice and fresh. Give them lots of breaks.
As this game nears its end, Giddy Up still with Shepherd out on the field, as I said, playing a lot of points. He finds Thomas.
It was a great pull. It was slightly touched, and Shepherd had to take it right from the back of the end zone. Oh, Thomas put up a nice floaty flick, but Monty just couldn't quite get there.
Wolski going very early on that defensive attempt forced Monty into attacking the disc and resulted in the turn, so credit to her.
Wolski doing a lot of work on offense here. Messiah just finds her right on the end zone line, and she does a cross-court flick to Holdaway. Holdaway getting 2 scores in a row, and Beer Kitty looked to be on a late comeback train.
And we just saw the Beer Kitty celebration is the Hello Kitty wobbly forward fist maneuver. I'm not sure if there's a better name than that, but they're embracing it. and I like it.
Looking to be seeing that hopefully a couple more times before this game's over.
And that turnover came from a beautiful pull from Beer Kitty. The impact that a deep pull can have in any form of the game is massive. And we saw there Thomas feeling the pressure of having the disc after it being centered still deep in his own end zone. Felt the need to attempt the difficult long shot that wasn't in the end able to complete. As Crocker will have another go, see if he can replicate the previous pull.
Yeah, going for round 2 of that pull. Lands it in the end zone nicely, fielded by Sutton to Dawson. De Silva gives a nice under. Oh, threads it nicely through to Sutton as Dawson is running out into acres of space. Thank you very much. Giddy up, stretch out to a 12-3 lead.
That was some beautiful crisp offense. No player held the disc for more than just a couple of seconds. And Dawson, heavily involved, received the centering pass, hit De Silva underneath, and then got on her bike and headed to the end zone. And Sutton delivered the throw for her to complete the goal. Now on the doorstep, 1 point away. Game point for Giddy Up.
Beer Kitty sideline. Crocker probably had a chance at D'ing that thread through from De Silva to Sutton, had his teammates on the sideline giving him a bit more of a heads up. So it just shows how crucial it is to have your sideline involved, because they help you just as much as the people on the field who are doing the running.
Giddy Up have been consistently been able to get those break throws off all game long, and that's been a crucial part of their offense, opening up the break side of the field. That backhand from De Silva that led Sutton onto the break side put him in a very powerful position to deliver the scoring goal.
Great pull from Fernando, centres to Hannes. Wolski provides an under, but Monty cuts that off quickly to Gwinnett. He looks to get rid of it quickly and finds Wolski. She doesn't want to hold on to it for too long, gives it back to Hannes. Finds it on the far sideline, pops it up. Messiah underneath it.
Beer Kitty going on a late run here as they look to make the score line a little more respectable, get something out of this game in terms of their pride, if not the result.
Beer Kitty having to pull now down to Giddy Up. Giddy Up coming out on offense. If they can hold on to this disc and close it out, they'll be taking out the game. Disc looks like it's going to be picked up and pulled by Messiah. Just waiting for the hand to go up from Giddy Up. There it is. Beer Kitty taking a little bit more time to talk strategy.
Maybe just delaying the inevitable in terms of the result of this game, but admirable nonetheless. The pull goes up and will be fielded.
Shepherd to Thomas. There's the hooter. Finds Dawson. She looks to give it back pretty quickly to Shepherd. Oh, Shepherd overthrows the outstretched Dawson and says, here you go, Beer Kitty, have another chance at this.
That was time cap. Not that it'll change anything really. It's still a game to 13 as Missile immediately looks for hold away, but Shepherd's in the vicinity and the throw's a little wayward. Shepherd to Thomas. And through the hands of Kelly. And Crocker looks to strike quickly. Second attempt, does he toe it in? I think he does. That's a wonderful effort.
Beer Kitty definitely on the late comeback train there. Goal by Sepp Durfee. Managed to get that one on the second attempt and kept it in. Great athleticism, great bid. Good vision there from the thrower.
And Giddy Up is struggling to close this one out. They've had a couple of opportunities. But Beer Kitty still going at full power.
Beer Kitty keeping their spirits high. If Giddy Up keep giving them gifts like this, we could see this maybe going to a universe point game.
Well, there's plenty of distance between 12-5 and 12-all, but you know, crazier things have happened on Frisbee fields. My money at this point is Mitch Sutton is going to huck it to Beck Carmen. That's my call, if I had to put money on it.
I think you might be on the money there, Max. Beer Kitty preparing to pull. And that floats just out the sideline.
Carmen will bring it in, so there goes my prediction already.
You could see the classic dump and cut deep.
True. It's been very effective all tournament long. A lot of teams employing that. Giddy Up choosing to go with the vertical stack to get things started. And it looks like De Silva will be first to move.
Carmen can't quite hit him though, so finds Mortimer on the far sideline. Mortimer looks, puts it up, has a lot of edge on it. Lamb couldn't quite bring it down, and too far for De Silva to bring it in on the second attempt. Gwinnett brings it in for Beer Kitty, finds Wolski on the under. She's got not much happening downfield, so is looking to dump it. Throws it out to Hannison. She just gets it to Briggs, but it goes through the hands, bounces off the chest. Giddy Up with their opportunity to take out the game now.
All right, Sutton's picking up. Carmen's in the end zone. Here's my opportunity, and it's still not going to happen. Silva to Mortimer.
Mortimer looks off to Silva. Dumps to Sutton, but hits the defender on the way through. Hammer goes up. De Silva pancakes in the end zone.
And that's the game. Eventually, Giddy Up close it out. There was a moment there where they struggled to get the job done and finish it off, but they will not be denied at 13-5. That's another dominant performance from Giddy Up as they continue their undefeated run towards the semi-finals, which will be later this afternoon. They'll be filmed, and do stick around because a lot